All right, I think we're live. I'm gonna make sure it works. Let's see here. Okay, yes, we are confirmed. All right. So I would like to welcome everyone here to the long anticipated interview. You've heard me reference it several times. But I am here with Blind Mike Sneakers live from the office. Um, looks like we may have just there he is, live from the office. Sneakers, how you doing
Back.
today?
Doing great. I've been waiting for this.
A lot of people have. A lot of people are pretty excited about this. We got Pat from Amesbury in the chat. So I got a couple topics I want to run through. Obviously, we got the Wilbur coming up. We'll touch on that. But what I want to get to first, above anything, because it's been going on recently, is the demise of Link. What went on with? I'll start from my end from the beginning. He's always been a psychopath. I do believe he should be locked up. He should not be roaming the streets. He should definitely not be near children. But I always liked how crazy Link was, and I liked egging him on and encouraging him. I enjoyed watching the wars from his side, and then even as Link's probably only defender and encourager, he definitely was responsible for doxing me. I think he's responsible for about 95% of Minifan doxing attacks. But you've always been at war with Link, you and Fez. And recently he's gone. So give me an update on the police reports and the phone record logs and everything that Link has going on.
Well, currently we have a detective who's on the case right now, Detective Moore. He's investigating the phone records. Should take a couple of months, maybe 3 months, and we'll find out. We'll find out what's going on with that. But the thing with Link is, when Link came on the scene, me and him were actually allies, and we were pretty good. We were pretty tight with trolling people together. And then he turned on me like the psychopath that he is. And we are where we are now. He's running. Let's call him by his real name, first of all. It's Ryan Jurowitz. Let's not
Ryan, yeah,
Mr. Jurowitz. Let's not go with the parodies.
yeah. I think
But he's
he's
on the run
lost.
right now.
I think he's lost that privilege.
He's lost
I
that.
was Link is definitely responsible for the Troll Sucks account, which was responsible for doxing me. I believe doxing Red, doxing you, Fez. I think
Fez, and I want to say
Grover.
Grover as well.
Yeah, Grover as well. Grover's definitely been at war with him for a while, but yeah. So Randall and the Schnitt army, I think they're officially dead. I'm sure I'll be hearing from him. He has now launched into this angle he's trying to portray where he believes he's being framed, that this is all an elaborate scheme to frame him, concocted by Fez.
Yeah.
And
Thing is,
I will say,
he got
go
caught
ahead.
in. He got caught in September. Somebody gave me a tip, and they went to me for a reason. They knew I was going to nuke his ass, and I went full board. I called his mother up, called his sister up, I called the school up, and he's been on the run since. And he can file all his fake reports he wants. I really wish he would. But the next step is I might drive to his house. I might do a little, drive-by, just to knock on the door and see him face to face. Then we can put
And
that.
so I mentioned some of the things Link has done to me, including tweeting out my parents' address and pictures of people who he thought were my family. Only about one of them was accurate. He's not very good at what he does, but let's hear some of the things that he's done to you, because I know he's done tweeted pictures of your family, I believe, of Fez's family, the kids, all that stuff. All the stuff that people like to accuse others of.
Doesn't bother me. Like the doxing, I'm untouchable. You can dox me all you want. It doesn't do anything to me. It's when he
Yeah.
started posting my daughter's kindergarten class and her teacher's name and what school she goes to. That's when I said, I don't know if I should go to the cops with this thing, or should I just find him? Because at that point, I don't know what's he. I mean, he kind of fits the profile of the school shooter.
Yeah, I
You never know
definitely
what
would.
guys.
He definitely shouldn't be around school. So I'll back that up. And he's unstable. He's extremely unstable. Even if you're an ally with him, he will turn on you. I think he hears voices in his head. I don't know what's going on, but he definitely needs mental help. And I would suggest Link just stay off the radar. Keep running. Don't look back.
You know he's watching. So
Oh yeah,
Ryan, just stay off Twitter. Stay away from me.
yeah. All right, let's move on from Link. We danced on that Grave Wilbur show. It's coming up, I believe, Saturday night. 2 shows. You are attending. My first question is: are you attending the VIP meet and greet?
No, so I got rid of those tickets a year ago, and I'm sitting with Pat from Amesbury. I have no idea where we're sitting. I think it's in the balcony. But,
Balcony.
I mean,
Yeah. What's your prediction?
there's
You
so many
think it's
tickets available. I mean, we could upgrade.
Yeah, wait. Are you thinking I think it's going to be about 60% full. I think even a lot of people who bought tickets, it's 2 years ago, they're maybe not going to go. What's your prediction for the attendance rate? First show I think
I
will be
think
a
it'll
little
be
more full,
no,
but second show I think will be like 60%.
I think the first show will be between 70 and 80% full. The second show, unless Kirk's begging everybody at the end of the first show to stay, I think it's going to be about 40%.
What are your predictions for the show? I mean, normally at the live shows, all they really do is talk about, wow, it's so crazy that we're doing a live show. Look at all these idiots that came to the live show. And then they kind of like play a video or two and then they call Dale and call it a day. I think I would go to a Sacco show where it's kind of you're just busting balls, hanging out, barbecuing. But for me, the theater show, I don't know. Do you think it's gonna? What do you think he has up his sleeve? You got me? What do you think?
Still
I
have
think
me?
Yeah, I got you now. Oh wait, what are you expecting for just a normal like?
Yeah, I mean, at 2.5 years ago, I was expecting a great show. House band, all that jazz. Now I think it's going to be lazy. It's just going to be a regular show. I don't think it's going to be great. Well, a couple of videos from Barstool. I mean, who cares? A couple of skits
Yeah,
from Justin.
I kind of can't even blame Kirk for that because he gets away with it. People let him get away with these lazy shows. I think
Uh,
he used. Can you hear me?
I got you now.
It in and out. Okay, yeah. So I think it'll just be a normal live show, but people let him get away with that. So
Yeah,
speaking
he
of
might have
two,
a couple of tricks under his sleeve, and other than
yeah.
that, like he wanted to bring Dale Arnold in, and that was like we all know Steve's gonna show up. They'll get a big ovation, and I think the show will be okay, be nothing great.
Are you excited to meet Menners?
No, not really.
Not really. No.
Uh, a lot of the Minute fans, like when I met them in Madawaska, they're nice guys, but they're not kind of boring. You really have to
Yeah.
pull it out of them to have some fun. So, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to meeting anyone. Maybe Jason
Are
from
you looking
Attleboro.
Jason from Attleboro? That'll be a good one. Are you looking forward to hanging out with Jay? Are you gonna be? Is Jay? You gonna be buying Jay drinks at the bar?
I really don't want to see Jay in person again. I met him in Madawaska. He's just a slimy guy. Plus, he's protecting Poodle Dick right now, who's another one of my kills. So
Yeah, we
I'm
could
on,
get to that
I'm
one.
on, I'm on, I'm on good terms with Jay.
Is it true that at Madawaska, Jay was just walking around looking for half-finished drinks?
Yeah, his whole crew, him, Pat from Lawrence, they were just looking for scraps of food, whatever they can get.
Cigarette butt down, just whatever he can scavenge.
And yeah, that's Jay.
That's Jay. All right, I want to get into. We're gonna jump back 2 years. We talked about how Wilbur's show tickets went on sale 2 years ago. There was a much different feeling about the show back then. So we're gonna talk about the suck pump era, which I think is where a lot of people began. I definitely think it is important to acknowledge that early KMS. I think it was very good. It was It was something different. Twitter, the Discord, just there was a fire. There were 1v1s almost every day. People were at each other's throats, and it's gotten away from that. But let's talk about your early days. Were you ever a suck pump?
I was a suck pump in the beginning. Of course, I was. I was on the propaganda team with Rich Kelleher.
Yeah.
That's early on Discord. So yes, I was a suck pump in the beginning. It was a great show. It was great when it first came out.
It was, and then we could talk about how the tides. When did you become a villain? Because for me, what I remember, I might be wrong, but it was the Mancock thing, joking about Mancock gambling the money, which is a year later was something that Kirk would do regularly. But at the time, it was like a pearl clutching moment for everybody. Like, how could you do this to a sick daughter's dad guy? The whole thing was pretty overblown.
Yeah, so I was in the Discord. It was early stages of COVID, so I was in the Discord breaking balls as usual. And guys were, a lot of guys didn't like me, but a lot of guys started to like my chirping. So the Mancock thing happened, and I just jokingly said, he had the big GoFundMe. Hey, we're going to be at the Barbara Bush Hospital for weeks and whatever. And the GoFundMe took off. I just said, hey, like I said, the kid's already home. A day later. And Kirk was lurking in the Discord as always. And he just unleashed on me. You're an asshole. What kind of person's a sick kid? I'm like, oh my God, we can't joke now. And then Kirk had the power of the Minifans, and they were just unleashed on me. He hates sick kids. Who is this guy? So instead of apologizing, I just figured I'd double down,
Yeah. Yeah. So what was that the first? Was that the beginning of you being a villain?
That was the beginning, and everybody attacked me, whatever. I was like, whatever. So I just kind of reached out to Minoc, whatever the fuck his name is. Granted, I was about to drive to Maine probably a month before because this guy was on Discord crying because he needed N95 mask, and I had a whole fucking box of them. I was like, I'll drive up and give it to you. He was all scared. Now I'm the villain. But I apologized to him. It was water on the bridge, but Kirk's got to drag it out, and kept bringing it back up and fueling stoking the flames. But so that's when people started to turn on me. I think that's when the doxing, some of the doxing started for them trying to find me.
And then what was the next big war? Was Carano next? Was the Carano war?
There's
probably some minor ones.
Yeah. Yeah, the typical me making fun of them. I was still a fan of the show then. So you had your typical me making fun of everybody in the Discord. And Carano came on the scene. I was just kind of chirping him. And obviously, from my hockey background, if you chirp somebody and they get offended and they can't take it, you're going to keep going at them. So I kept going at them. And it was just mindless shit. And I'm driving with my family to vacation. I was going on vacation. And my kid dumped her pants, and my wife had to go change the diaper in the back of the car. So I'm sitting there checking my phone. I start seeing my house being posted on Twitter with my address and my name. So that's when the full doxing started right there. And that's kind of when I kind of said, fuck these guys.
I think, yeah, the Carano thing was where the two sides of the Miniverse really split, and it went two different ways, I think, forever. But I remember even at the time, people like Ziggy Robinson and Red from Maine, they had your back. Like everybody kind of knew Carano was a snake, but the loudest voice is obviously Kirk, and for whatever reason, he liked Carano, which I think he was on the very wrong side of history of that. Has since, a lot of things that we used to say a year or two ago, Kirk now agrees with a year later. But I remember even at the time, you were a villain, but I think anyone with a brain could tell Carano was, he's close to link levels of insanity. He's not quite there, but I'd say he's halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, like, do I think he was the one posting the pictures? No, he probably had a lot of help, but
yeah,
that's when it started. Like, the lines were drawn in the sand at that point, and people were trying to get me. And at that point too, I think I was really more vocal about saying the show sucked. And Kirk was in the Discord, and I was always like, "The show sucks." People couldn't take that. People couldn't handle that, so they had to get me away.
Yeah, people were still trying to cling on to, like, that was really when the show started bad. It would have moments, but people were still trying to cling on to the early days, and we're kind of in denial. Probably myself at some point too. Like, no, it's still good. It's still good. Where if everybody knew deep down that it was going downhill, I didn't think it'd ever go this far downhill. And we can get into Cullinane a little bit later, because I used to love Cullinane. I thought he was funny, self-aware, could bust balls, and then he tried to be himself, I think, the first couple weeks on that job, but I think Kirk broke him down and just basically made him his bitch, and now he's just I was wrong about him.
Yeah, Dave was in the 14. Like things are going to change, guys. We're going to bring comedy back, and I think, like you said, after the first week, Kirk rolled up the newspaper and smacked his dog on the nose, and he broke him. And now Dave's just it's actually embarrassing to watch Cullinane on the show. He's just doing anything he can to have Kirk just like to be liked by Kirk. And it's like it's over the top.
I think a lot of Steve haters owe an apology, because whether Steve's political shows were boring or not, at least he would not just
something
agree.
Out of Kirk.
Yeah, he wouldn't agree with everything Kirk said. He would like talk down to Kirk about, politics. The topics weren't always interesting, but it was good to at least have it not just be a total one-way show in there.
Dave's turned the show into like a like a Kiss 108. It's a local Boston radio show. Just TMZ. Even the last episode, the last show, Kirk's like, anything else? And no, it's a slow week. It's a slow week. Like, you don't have to go down to Twitter, what's trending on Twitter, to do a show. Like, you can't come up with something, Dave. You're the producer of the show. It's because something didn't happen in the entertainment world. You have nothing prepared.
Yeah,
at least Steve can get something out of him.
What made KMS good always was not them covering current topics. It was always the psychopaths, making fun of the fans, and then I think Kirk was doing that for a while, and he started going crazy. He couldn't handle it, because he is a guy that will watch everything. He'll read every tweet. There have been times where I've been like 80 tweets deep in a Jason from Attleboro thread, and like Kirk accidentally likes a tweet. I see it before he could unlike it. I'm like, what are you doing reading this thread? So, and I don't blame him for that. If people about me, I would probably listen to most stuff too, but I don't know if I would pretend that I didn't. So yeah, I think he couldn't handle having all the Minifans involved in the show, and that at the loony bin, I think they told him just take a step back, just ignore these people. He can't really handle it, and that's where he started. That was the beginning of the end of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Steve either, because he's one of the guys that docs me. He used to DM. You got the producer of the show DMing me, "Hey Rob," and posting my phone number in the DMs, trying to scare me. So I'm not a fan of Steve, but
yeah.
At least he did good shows.
Yeah, I like Steve. I think he's crazy in the right ways, but
it is crazy. I mean, imagine reaching out to a fan, say with their phone number and their address. Fucking hates it.
I think I have here in my notes. There's probably some minor ones in between, but the next big event I can remember is Honkgate, honking outside the studio. Justin doing a live stream. You drove by the studio. What he was doing the thing where he was calling the guy in Denver all week, right?
No, he was calling WEI all week. I think it was Gresh's.
Oh,
I think Gresh just got hired.
Yeah, that's right. And so you parked outside the studio. He was live, and you gave him a little honk from the truck, and you could see the fear kind of go over his face. He ended the live stream, and then I think it resulted with the police showing up at your house.
Yeah, I had an officer show up. Good guy, officer from town. I knew him. We had a good laugh about it, but he was on the live stream all week, and he's such a bitch. He calls himself the shit stirrer, and he's blocking every account that's negative in the comments. So I just got making more accounts, and he says something. He goes, I hope your kids die of cancer, something like that. I was like, all right, I'll put that in my back pocket. I'll hold on to that one. So one of my buddies gave me his number. I said, I'll just give him a call in the morning, wish him well on the last day of the stream. And he got all pissed off at me for calling him. It's like, oh, whatever. So I went in the stream. He said something about my kids again. And I just happened to be in the area because I used to live over there. So I grabbed some lunch, got an Italian sub. So let me drive by the studio. The guys are in the chat, were in the comments. I said, hey, comment, tell them I'm outside beeping. So I drove by a few times, beeped, and I saw the windows going up and down. Gave him a wave. And I left to go pick up my kids. And next thing I know, Blind Mike and Dave's running in there like SEAL Team 6 trying to get them out of there. It's like, relax.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Justin. I like him, but it comes back to the same thing. We'll get into later, Poodle Dick as well, where I like Poodle Dick, but if you're going to enter the mud, embrace it and defend yourself. And some people learn that the hard way. I've seen some people learn from it the good way. At some point in your career on the internet, you're going to have to learn how to deal with that. And to me, I like Justin, but I can't say I feel bad when you're in the mud and you're throwing bullets. If someone shoots back, I'm not gonna cry a river for you.
Right. I actually called him that night to apologize, to see if he was okay, because he was really shooken. And his dad answered the phone, and his dad's like, his dad's an idiot, and he's like, my son's doing his job. I'm like, your son's an idiot. You don't wish kids to die because someone's making fun of you in the comments, and you're calling yourself the shit stirrer. Like, maybe this is not this is not for you.
I think some people got to learn that lesson. I do like Justin, but I'm never gonna defend someone who gets in the mud and then cries when they get dirty, and that's the same thing that happened with Poodle Dick, where if you enter the ring, it's nobody's obligation to come defend you. You gotta be able to defend yourself, and if you don't want to be in the mud, then don't jump in the mud.
And whoever's watching, people want to villainize me. He's worse than Murchison. He's on the payroll. I was attacked first. I make some jokes that cross the line. Doubt it, but I'm just punching back. Just punch. I'm not Red from Maine, big titty Red. You get doxxed and you run away for a fucking couple of months. These guys think you flash your address or something, you're gonna run away and disappear.
On the Red thing too, part of me doesn't even feel bad for him getting doxxed, because I know from sources that he was involved in supplying information to get other people doxxed when it benefited him. So
it's a snake.
If you're gonna enter the ring, if you're gonna send information about other people, then it might come back around and yours might get sent. That's just the way it is. I mean, when I was doxxed, I didn't care. I'm in a similar boat as you, where I can't be fired from my job pretty much no matter what. So I don't have to worry about that. I got brothers, you could call my brothers or whatever. I don't care about that. I don't have kids. You could do whatever you want. Um, but do you ever regret maybe throwing mud at someone who maybe didn't deserve it? Are there any instances of that? I know I have a couple.
Like Blind Prison Mike. When I met him, I liked him. I threw some, I used to shit on him a lot when he lost his job. So I regret that one. It was some funny. I mean, I got some funny content out of it, but I like Blind Prison Mike. Other than that, no, not really. Everyone else has deserved it.
What about Lauren Lynn's dying dog? What did Lauren Lynn ever do to you? What did Lauren Lynn ever do to you?
I didn't listen. I didn't make fun of her. I just may have passed some information along. It's just dying dogs. It is what it is.
Yeah, dogs do die.
Dogs, and then you buy another one.
You buy another one. That's how it goes.
I met Lauren. She was very nice too.
Yeah, and in her defense, I don't think she ever asked anybody to defend her or anything. I think she took her lumps and she just kept doing her thing. So I think that's a lesson to be learned for a lot of people. Right. We'll get into, before we get into another, while we're on Phil the Portuguese. What's your beef with Phil the Portuguese?
Phil the Portuguese. I never even heard of this guy in my life. No idea who he was, what he was. And when Montanti, weaseled out of the interview that he wanted to do with me because he wanted to go on Kirk, Phil started attacking me. And what I like about Phil is his buddies know he's a moron. His buddies know like what to say to him. Kind of pump him up with it. Like, hey, Phil, you're great, Phil. You're semi-pro. You should be doing content. And he's such a moron. He believes it. He thinks he's a star. He's a typical Portuguese. He's making an ass out of himself at weddings. And it's all about him. But that's all I know about Phil. I never heard of him. And that's it. You got a lot of views from me.
I love Phil. He has had a problem in the past of if someone criticizes him, he does not know how to handle it, including his own friends. But I do think he finally learned a little bit of his internet lesson of you got to people are going to be negative about you. If you want to be out there on the internet, that's what's going to happen. So I think you actually ended up helping Phil in a way, if you want to take that as credit.
I know I can go post a picture and I know it's killing him. His buddies are like, Phil, ignore it. Like Dave is telling him ignore it, and it's killing him to not. And if I'm bored, I might just post that that Mick Foley picture. I know it pisses him off.
I love Phil. I would
have a beer with Phil. He's definitely a moron, but I'd have a beer with him.
Yeah, Phil. Phil is someone I would hang out with in real life. Definitely to me like a quintessential. I know he lives in Rhode Island, but Rhode Island, Massachusetts, meathead, diehard Patriots, Celtics fan, just a funny guy too. But yeah, it was. Phil kind of learned that lesson in real time, but for a while there, it was nonstop, and that's when I think people don't realize. Well, I won't even say that. I don't want to tell people how to defend. It's fun to watch them kind of scramble, but all anybody's looking for when they're busting your balls is for you to reply. If you just don't really reply, or if you just move along with your day, quite as fun.
Yeah, you want that reaction. Once you got them on the line, you won.
Oh yeah, it's a good feeling getting someone on the line. While we're on that, we'll talk about favorite kills. I have a couple here. I have one that sticks out the most, and I had a slight involvement with it just at the end. I never really knew much about this guy, but Corp Cow. That was a
favorite. That one was great. Am I coming in? Can you hear me now?
I lost you for a second. You're back. You're back.
Corp Cal. This guy was calling my bosses. He was calling my union reps, trying to get me fired. And I lost my account, got suspended, got another account, and going north, brought it up. He's like, "Hey, you going after his job?" He's like, he goes, "I was never going after his job," and I had all the receipts.
Yeah.
Boom, posted
Yeah.
them up. I save everything. I save everything. And he was gone. He was one of my favorite kills. The Discord, KMS Discord, that was a great kill. I think I
Yeah.
poisoned that to nothing. The 14, the 50, Poodle Dick. A lot of kills. There's so many. And they all make me smile. They're all great.
Yeah, to me that the Corp Cow one was just special because it happened so quickly. Like he's like, "What are you talking about? I never posted anybody's at job." And then the tweet was literally him just being like, "I'm called." Or he said, "I never called anybody's boss." And then the tweet was him just saying, "I just called his boss," like word for word.
The tweet was like, hell yeah, I called his boss.
That guy's
like,
got to be still around. What account do you think that guy transitioned? He's still around.
I don't know. I was doing this like probably 3-4 months ago. I was like, because a guy like that doesn't disappear.
No,
just goes under a different burner.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Because even Twitter, it's been boring. Just like the show, it's been like Twitter's been boring for the last 6 months. There's nothing good going on. It's hard to keep up the. It's hard to keep this up.
I know it's boring because that's when you start going after
Saturday,
guys like Phil. You know, after you think the Wilbur is gonna be the nail in the coffin for everything.
I think after Saturday it's going to be done. I don't know. There's no fight left from anyone. All the enemies are dead.
Yeah, there's I can't even think of the last. I mean, like I said, in its heyday, there was a 1v1 at least every week. There was a war, usually multiple.
Between the Pizzagate, there was always something going on, something crazy. I mean, if the first Wilbur show would have been great. Yeah, like fights in the balcony, fights at the bar. Now it's just let's just get it over with.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Now let's get into possibly the most controversial incident, which was the Billy Tibbetts saga. I don't know much about it, but I do know from talking to sources that Fez was definitely the ringleader. And if anyone is mad, they should be going after Fez for this one.
It's not Fez. I want Fez to leave Twitter for another year.
True. So I think I know exactly. I think anybody who's familiar with Billy Tibbetts knows exactly what went on in that situation, and I do see it from both sides. I think it was probably, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a joke that just you try to get Billy riled up, and then you never know where he's gonna go. You don't think he's gonna go to the raping but he happens to go. And so I understand Kirk not enjoying that. Of course, anybody saying that about their daughter, you wouldn't enjoy it. Is it real? Probably not. Does it matter that it's not real? Probably not. So I do see both sides. Give me the behind the scenes. What went on with the Tibbetts situation?
So the Tibbetts, Tibbetts was on a crazy bender. He's been in the KMS, like between the Minifans, Cullinane, everyone's always tweeting something about Tibbetts. So he's been known. Everyone's laughing at his videos. So the show's sucking. So I'm like, I go, let me talk to myself. I said, let me message Tibbetts. I said, hey, Minhan's gonna take away your fast food sports, gonna take away your Instagram. Kirk. And the guy messages me back. I never heard of the guy. You're Jerry Callahan and Kirk. They're gonna take away your Twitter, your Instagram. Then again, he's like, I never heard of the guy. Sorry, dude. And I kind of left it at that. And the guy just keeps drinking more. And who knows what drugs he was doing. And he's getting darker and darker.
He'll come back in a second.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I left off, but he was getting all fucked up on coke and whatnot. Next thing you know, he's just crying about him being raped, and he starts going off. He's gonna kill Minahan. I'm gonna rape your daughter. I'm like, oh my god. I didn't see that coming because the guy went from like, I don't know who this guy is to, he's fucking going crazy. I'm like, oh fuck. Definitely what I didn't need.
Yeah.
So once I saw that, I said, oh fuck. I'm gonna wait for the blowback to see what happens. So I think it was like a day or two. I get the message from Kirk, like, come on the show. I'm like, I can't. I'm at work. But I do need to explain myself. Like, the joke gone bad, but I did the joke, so I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna take my punishment. And Kirk's saying like, Red was sending out screenshots to Kirk of the 14, and Fed was joking. I paid him to do it. We gave him $50. Which is like, it's like, no, I didn't sit there and write a script for the guy and give him money to do it. Anyone with a brain knows that. But Kirk ran with that. These guys paid him. He's worse than Murchison. They gave information on my kids. I'm like, I didn't know Kirk's kids' names. So if all that, it's like, I can take the punishment, whatever. I fucked up. It's my fault. I don't need the lies. Like, I don't need he sent a rapist after me. And and then you got Red. You guys, these guys knew how crazy Tibbetts was. It was like, oh, you were laughing your ass off when Cullinane was talking about Tibbetts in the hits.
Oh yeah.
It was a big joke a week before. So I took, again, I did what I did. Told the guy, he was going to take his Instagram away. I was going to tell him, my original idea was I was going to say, hey, Kirk's coming to steal your dog. That's
his dog. You don't want to take his dog. Oh,
right.
man.
He loved his dog. So I go, Kirk's going to steal your dog. But I went with the Instagram route. So then, the Minifans are fucking idiots. And like, he paid him. Murchison's paying sneakers. Let's get him. So I mean, that's what happened. I mean, that's what I said. I sent Kirk a big apology, whatnot. And he was like, all right, I'm done with this. But he brings it up every fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a nice little cheap shot he has over you to just keep people angry at you. Which
it's like,
I get it.
Pay the fucking guy. I didn't write a script. First of all, anyone knows me knows I'm not writing any scripts.
Yeah. Red is such a snake because he's for years just been, behind the scenes, just trying to get a pat on the head from Kirk, sending him stuff. And there's a way to do that, I think, in an entertaining content way, rather than just like a snake looking for some love way. And he does it the wrong way, I think. I remember he said, he's like, oh, I knew some guys that played college hockey with Tibbetts, like all this stuff.
Yeah,
it's like Tibbetts didn't even play college hockey. Yeah, all of a sudden he's an expert, just making stuff up just out of his ass. I hate dumb guys that think they're smart like Red. But yeah, I mean, he is a snake. That's what I got out of that.
Red was out. He was out on the show, right? The show didn't want nothing to do with him, and he used this as his opportunity. He's sending Kirk all the pictures, and he's like, these guys knew Tibbetts is fucked up. They know his background. They knew this was going to happen, and that's how he got back in with the show, and that's what he wants. He wants Barstool Andrew Leach. That's what he wants. He wants to be the star. He's jealous. He's jealous of Clemmer. He's got that Clemmer likes account where he keeps, bringing up the Tibbetts thing. And it's like, you know what, Red, you want to get in the mud. You don't get mad. Don't get mad that people are posting pictures of you.
Yeah, and also on Red, like if you're gonna send information to people to dox Link, you can't really be upset if people come around and dox you eventually. That's if you enter the mud, you're gonna be in the mud. So don't act like Mr. Holier Than Thou.
Just a rat. He wanted to be back with the show so bad that during these group chats, everything's getting leaked out anyway, so it's not a big deal. Like you expect that, but he was the one taking the pictures and sending them over to whoever he had to send them over to, if it was Ziggy or to Kirk.
Cullinane, probably.
Cullinane, so that's the role Red wants to be. He wants to play that role of I'm a Cully man boy. I love him. I'll do anything for him. It's embarrassing. Just say you want a job for Barstool. Like, that's what you want. You're a 40-year-old man with double D's, and you want to work for Barstool.
You have to admit, Steve's lasting legacy is giving him Tits nickname. That was an electric.
That was a great nickname. And
it's a great.
That's another thing too. Red's sitting there, he's on Minifan, and he's like, all these Minifans can't take a joke from Kirk, and they leave the show. This guy disappeared when Steve exposed his tits.
Yeah, he deleted his Twitter because Kirk said he would kill himself if he didn't.
Right.
Interesting move.
He'll
be a little he'll be a little celebrity at the Wilbur though, and it'll make all his dreams come true. And I'm just happy he's having fun.
Is he going? Is he going?
I would assume he's going.
He said, unless Menace was making it up, he said Red's like not sure if he's going.
I've been listening to the men. I used to enjoy Menners. I can't even listen to him anymore. It's just because guys like Menners, who I know think similar to us. The same goes with Andy Mayo. Like, he used to be a huge fan, but also like when preposterous stuff would happen, he would call it out. And now he just, when someone makes a conscious decision to just bury that part of them and just be a bitch, that bothers me. So I can't even deal with Mayo, and Menners is approaching that territory for me.
There's not much time left for these guys to get noticed. The show is on its final stretch here. So Red and all these guys better start dancing to get. I don't know what they're going to do when Kirk's done.
Yeah, I think they'll just listen to old. They'll listen to old shows, and they'll just keep
tweeting about it, because these guys, they're going Saturday not to watch. They could care less about the show. They love the attention. You guys see these guys at live shows. They won't go up to anybody. They want the fans to go up to them. It's unbelievable.
In a way, genius, because he could sell tickets for a show that really doesn't have much to do with him, other than the fact that he's the common denominator between all these people, and they all just go to stand in the corner with each other.
That's all they do, and they're boring as hell. These guys, half of them are boring as hell. Kirk just do like wrestling conventions. You just do a convention, so the minute he sits there, signs some autographs, and the minute fans can just hang out with each other.
Yeah, it's a sad thing, because I do think when Kirk, sometimes when he goes on other shows, or every now and then he'll have a good show, that that talent is in there. But I think I can't really blame him. He's just posting on the job. He knows he's not going to get fired. He does just enough to get the extension, and then he'll delay the case by a year and a half. So I got nothing against Kirk. I actually do like him, and I can't blame him for just people just let him get away with whatever he wants. So you might as well.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I don't even care about Kirk. My trolling is not against Kirk. Mine's against the Minifans, and Kirk's just I kind of just use Kirk to get to the Minifans.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Anything else before we wrap up? I've gone through all my notes.
I think that's it. I think that's it.
What's your prediction for how much longer the show goes on?
What you said?
Sorry. What's your prediction for how much longer KMS exists? Over under a year?
Under. Definitely under.
Under. I think under too.
Especially if the Wilbur goes bad. I can see.
Well, I think the best thing that could happen is the Wilbur being bad, so maybe at least it gets talked about. I think if it's just average, like if everything just average and no one has an opinion on it, then that's how I think the show will die. So I actually think the worse it is, the better it might be for KMS.
You never go know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
You're not going to know if the Will was bad or good, because you got the same Minifans, the same 50 Minifans just blowing Kirk. So it's hard to gauge it on Twitter, but I don't know. Shit. I'll be having fun Saturday. I'll be in Boston early, probably noontime. Noontime, I'll be setting up shop.
Are you going to the little pregame show they're having at like what's it called? I forget the name of the place.
JJ Foley's. JJ Foley.
Yeah.
That's at 3:00. I'll probably pop in. Yeah, I'll pop in there. I'm gonna hit up some good bars before that. I'm gonna hit up some some trendy bars. I'm not a minute fan. I'm not one of these dorks coming in right before the show. These guys never go out. These guys don't know what they're doing. So I'll be out around town with Steve from Providence, Pat from Amesbury.
Yeah, I like if I was there, I'd be hanging with the 420 crew. I like those guys. What's up with Steve from Providence these days?
He's just working out. He's full of anxiety. He's nervous. He asked me not to talk about him, so if I talked about him, he wasn't gonna show up Saturday.
All right. Well, I'm interested to see how that goes.
I'll respect his wishes. He says he's going. He's coming with me Saturday, so we'll see. Again, Minute fans are such pussies too. They'll all be kissing our asses there, like they all do.
Yeah, that's why I think even if it was sold out, only half the people would show up because I think most of them are just such nervous people that they just wouldn't show up even if they had a ticket. So I'm curious to see how that goes. You're going to be boots on the ground. I'm going to need to maybe do a follow-up after the Wilbur.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up. It should be a good time. Most of the people are good people, so we'll get some drinks and we'll wrap this up.
All right, I'll let you go with that. Enjoy the Wilbur. I'll be following along on Twitter, and maybe we'll do a wrap-up show. Any last thoughts you want to get out?
No, I think we covered it all. So it was good. I'm glad Montante pussied out because I'd rather have done this with the GVE.
Yeah, Montante. I forgot to get into that, but I think I got into that on a different show. I have with Montante backing out as long as he admits it. It doesn't seem like he did that.
He won't admit it. He won't admit it. I'm gonna try to see him Saturday. I'll get some beers with him if he's not such a pussy. A lot of these guys think they're gonna get called onto the stage and work for Kirk. So they think it's a tryout.
That's what this KMS universe is, constantly a tryout, and it's only worked for one person so far, and he had to go to Barstool. But we'll see. I'm gonna let you go. Have fun at the Wilbur, and thank you for coming on.